Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking to Myself. I'm your host, Jake Letizia, and this is the podcast where I look into a camera and I talk to myself. How you doing? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing good. This is the first podcast in a while again. I went on another long hiatus for almost no reason. Why? Laziness, I guess. I don't fucking know why. This podcast I've been having a weird, strange relationship with lately where I skip weeks and I should stop doing that, and I apologize and I keep saying I'm gonna not do that and then I do it. So I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm gonna try and correct it the best I can. But what I do have good news, I got great news, I have wonderful fucking news, is that I'm not just coming back to the pod right now. I'm coming back to the pod with the most irritating thing and strangest fucking thing that's maybe ever happened to me in the world of dating. Last night, I went on the weirdest date I've ever been on in my life. The absolute strangest fucking date I've ever encountered. I don't know. I'm still like, what the fuck happened here? I don't know what happened. It was the most confusing thing, one of the most confusing things I've ever experienced in my life. Okay? And I'm going to tell you all about it. And maybe at the end you're going to be like, well, you haven't had that confusing of a life. Or maybe you're going to be like, yeah, man, what the fuck happened? But I'm going to start with the end, okay? I'm going to start by telling you where it all ended up. This day ended with me, with my date asking me about what religion I grew up with, and I said I grew up Christian, but Lutheran, because my mom thought Catholicism was weird. She thought, like, I don't want my kids to have to, like, confess their sins to a priest. That's strange. So she was a smart cookie because she didn't make us do that. And then it went dead silent. And then my date said, okay, do you have any hobbies? And then I laughed and said, did I say something weird? And she goes, I mean, that was kind of mean. That was like really mean. And I was like, the thing about Catholicism? And she goes, yeah, I mean, I have friends who are Catholic and like, I don't think they're bad people. And I said, I didn't say Catholics are bad people. I said that the religion's not that good for people. I mean, ask your Catholic friends. They probably would agree. And then she said, I think I'm going to go. And then she left. She said, I think I'm going to go. You've been mean this whole time. And then she left. That's the abbreviated version of the ending. That's how it ended. So as you listen to this story, I want you to really listen to everything that happens and decide for yourself if I'm mean. Because I don't think I'm mean, but I'm not going to weigh in on it because I'm me. So of course I don't think I'm being mean. Although I will say I sometimes am mean, and I'm very aware that I am being fucking mean as shit to somebody. But this was not one of those cases. When I'm on a date, I like to be playful and fun and flirty, and I thought I was doing that, but according to her, I was being mean as shit, and one of the mean things was saying that Catholicism is strange. Anyway, so we started with the end like any great fucking, like it's Fight Club, dude. Like any great 2000s movie, we started with the end, and now I'm going to tell you the whole fucking story, and we're going to loop back, and then we'll meet at the end, and you can decide for yourself, am I a mean motherfucker, or is this a strange lady? So, first off, it's a date from Hinge. Already, fuck it, you know? It's a date from Hinge. Haven't been on a date from a dating app in a while because this. Haven't been on a dating app date in a long time because this, you know? Because this sucks. And things like this happen. So on my dating profile, it says extremely fun. Dating me is like extremely fun for a month. And people will message at that. And the problem with having something like that in your profile is that if you have something like that's pretty funny in your profile, a bunch of people will reply to that specific thing, and then you get annoyed because like it's not their fault because they're a new person reacting to the thing that you wrote. But for you, it's the 8,000th motherfucker saying the same barely anything to the prompt you did, you know? So already it's like, but she responded and said, me too, or same. And I was like, oh, that's funny. And I said, damn, are we about to have the sickest month of our lives? And she goes, hell yeah, ready when you are, babe. And sent me her number. Which was like so fucking easy and cool and bold and kind of weird that I was attracted to it. I thought, oh, that's weird and bold and I like it. And I've seen my friend do that. And the guys never respond. The guys never go on the date. And I'm always like, they should. That's a fun risk to take. So I thought, hey, I'm going to take the risk with this lady. That'll be a good move. So we planned on a date for Friday. And she said, I might have plans. I tentatively have plans, so I'll let you know if they fall through or not. And I go, I'm going to tentatively hope that they fall through. Just as a flirty thing to say. And she said, haha, oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I'll let you know. But then we could do Monday if that doesn't work out. So I go, okay. So then she texts me about the plans. I go, she goes, I am going on these plans, but I am free Monday. I said, Monday it is. She hearted it. As the day approached, it was Sunday. I was like, should I text about this? Because as time goes on, you need momentum for a dating app. You need momentum. In general, for dating, you need momentum. You need to meet somebody, get their number, ask them on a date, go on a date within like 3 to 4 days, and then that's an appropriate amount of momentum that'll get you on the date. Otherwise, if enough time happens between you getting the number and you setting up the date, all of the bad experiences of dates start to filter into your body and brain, and you start to be like, that's going to be another one of the pile of shitty fucking dates I went on. That's going to be a part of the bad ones. You get in your head. You start to forget that you might have liked this girl. And also, there's barely any momentum building from this person because I just got their number. I didn't talk to them. I don't know anything about them. I know that their photos are cute, and what she said to me was fun and spontaneous. That's all I know. So I have very little momentum. I also don't really like or want to go on these kinds of dates anymore. I'd rather meet someone in real fucking life and know I like them before I sit down and eat a meal with them or drink a fucking beer. So I was in this mode of like, I'm not going to say anything. Or should I say something? Do I want to go on this date? And I said, you know what? Fuck it. Haven't been on a date in like a month or a couple weeks or whatever the fuck. I'll go on a date. So I texted her Sunday night. Hey, you want to, like, when are you free tomorrow? She says, I'm pretty flexible. When/where do you want to meet? And then I waited till 3 p.m. on Monday. Because I was like, I'll text late enough where maybe she won't respond and maybe it won't happen. And if it does happen, cool. And if it doesn't, sick. So I text her at 3 and say, hey, you want to meet on the Lower East Side at this bar? And she goes, and then at 5 o'clock, 2 hours later, she goes, yeah, let's do it. Fuck. I was already planning on playing pool with a friend. I was like, I don't know. I was ready to, I was playing fucking God of War and get ready to play pool after. I was in a headspace of like, oh, this date's not going to happen. I told a friend the date's not going to happen and I'm excited about it. And then the date is happening now, which I recalibrated my brain. I said, hey, fine, maybe this will be fun. You know what? Maybe it'll be fun. I'll flirt with a beautiful woman. Maybe she's awesome. Maybe we fucking fall in love. Who the fuck knows? You know who the fuck knows? Me in my gut. I know it's gonna be bad. So it's 7 o'clock. I start heading towards the bar. She goes, it's gonna be more like 8:15 than 8 o'clock. I go, okay. So that's a way of being like, I'm gonna be 15 minutes late, but I'm not actually, because I said it to you ahead of time. Which is fine. I don't really care. I've been 15 minutes late to dates. I don't give a fuck. So I get to the bar. It's 8:19. Because when she said 8:15, I was like, I'll get to the bar at 8:15. So I got there at 8:15. It's 8:19. I go, I'll order a beer. Get a beer, sit down. She texts me 8:22 or something. Oh, I'm coming out of the subway. I'm so sorry. I'm on my way. I was like, all right. It's like 8:30, 8:31. You're a half hour late at this point. Again, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. The only reason why I'm a little bit like, is because I don't even want to be on this date. Also, I went to a bar with a pool table, and I'm facing the pool table, and the people playing are okay at it, and I want to play. I want to go play and win the table. That's what I kind of want to do. But at the same time, I'm like, this date might be fun. Even though she's a half hour late, I'm optimistic. She comes in, I see her. I go, oh, hey. She goes, hey, oh my God, you already drank half a beer. And the beer was like a mug. You see this mug? It's like a mug this fucking big. It's a tiny mug for those listening. It's tiny. It's like not much beer. It's a $6 Allagash White. They're not giving me that much. It says on the board it's a mug, meaning it's smaller than a glass. Meaning we don't want to charge you $8, so we're giving you a slightly smaller thing. Okay, so I go, oh, you're all good, and she goes, let me get a drink. So she goes and gets a drink. I don't get up because the bar's like it's got a decent amount of people in it, but I don't want to lose our seat, and also like it doesn't have enough where she's got to wait a long time for a drink. All you got to do is walk up, get a drink, come back. It takes 2 seconds. So she got up, got the drink, came back, sat down. I said, hey, by the way, just to make her feel better, it's totally fine that, like, you don't worry at all. Like, I don't care. I don't care at all that you're late. Like, it's totally fine. It's like, I'm chilling. I'm having a nice time. And she goes, oh, I'm just so sorry. I mean, I'm new to the city. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, you're fine then. Yeah, totally. She's like, oh, I moved here in August. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's pretty new. She goes, is it new? I feel like there's always someone newer. I was like, I mean, what? It's like less than 6 months. It's pretty new. And she's like, yeah. So then she goes, so what do you do? So I said, I'm a comedian. Because that's all I do right now. I'm not working much. I'm a comedian. That's what I spend most of my time doing. And then she goes, oh, great. That's great. You have any comedians that you like? And I said, Jordan Jensen. I like her. She's very funny. And she was like, oh, wow. I've never had someone say like a female comedian. Oh, well, she also said this. She goes, oh, comedian. Oh, I guess I'm just definitely checking that off my New York dating thing. I got to check that off my New York dating. I was like, oh, you never been on a date with a comedian? She's like, no. I was like, okay. So then I tell her, Jordan Jensen. She's like, oh, wow. That's so cool that you picked a woman. I love that you picked a woman. I've never met a man who's like said that one of their favorite comedians is a woman first. And especially when they're like, even when they're not a comedian. And she's like, it's usually like 5 people and then like Amy Schumer. Like, that's so cool that you said a woman. And I was like, yeah, do you know her? And she's like, no, but I should look her up. I was like, yeah, she's funny. And then she goes, yeah, I mean, I think women are automatically funnier than men anyway, but I mean, no offense. So she said, kudos to you for picking a woman. I love that. But by the way, women are funnier than men. Which, hey, I was like, that. I guess that's your opinion. I don't believe that. I think that has very little to do with whether or not you're funny. In my experience, I met a lot of funny fucking ladies, and I've met a lot of funny fucking men, and I've met a lot of unfunny women and unfunny men. For me, it's a lot of personal experience, life experience, how you fucking encounter the world. How you encounter the world is whether or not you're funny. To me, gender doesn't have much to do with it. So her being like, women are automatically funnier than men kind of rubs me the same way as a man being like, men are automatically funnier than women. Like, you're both annoying, boring motherfuckers. But guess what, dude? I didn't say that. I just went, oh, cool. You know? Because I was trying to be polite. I was trying to be nice. I was trying to not have an argument with a stranger. I said, oh, cool. So then I go, what do you do? And she goes, what's my talent? And I go, oh, no, I said, what do you do? And she goes, oh, I think you said, what's my talent? I like that question better. I'm going to answer that question. And so I laughed because that's a funny thing to do. It's funny to say, what's my well, like it's funny to hear a something incorrectly, and then when someone says the question they're gonna ask, changing the question and stating that you like your own question better. So I laughed and I said, you mean you're gonna answer the question that you made up for yourself? And she goes, yeah, I like that one. I go, feel free to do that for the whole day if you want. If I ask stupid questions, just correct them to something better. And she goes, yeah, no, I will. I like that. And so again, I think that like it's like flirty and like she's kind of negging me a little bit. I think it's being. I mean, it's kind of annoying and not the greatest, but I'm laughing and amused by it, and I think it's all fine. So she starts talking about before the talented part, we're talking about how her parents have a dog. I'm talking about my name and how my name is Jake, right? And I go, yeah, I always say, she goes, it's just Jake, like on your birth certificate, it's just Jake. And I go, yeah. I go, not Jacob, like Jake, just like a dog. That's what I always say. And she goes, oh, that's funny. My parents have a dog named Jake. I go, oh, so you'll be one of my main defenders because people try and say Jake isn't a dog's name, even though it is. And she's like, oh, well, that's funny because I don't think it's a dog's name at all. I think it's a human name. I go, yeah, but you know a dog named Jake. She goes, yeah, well, they adopted it, and they didn't want to change the name because the dog had already been through a lot because its owner was like a real piece of shit, really like bad person. I don't know if she's a piece of shit. He was a really bad person. Like he really treated this dog horrible. Like I don't even want to get into it. But I've always thought like, oh, Jake is more of a human's name. And my parents were like, yeah, if there was one thing we could change about this dog, like it's very sweet and we love it. But if there's one thing we could change, it'd be its name. So I jokingly was like, I feel like you're just trying to say you hate the name Jake. I feel like you just don't like the name Jake. As a joke, as a bit, you know? I feel like that's pretty obvious of a bit to say that. And she goes, no, like it's a fine name. I just think it's more of a human name. And she goes, also, I think like she named, he named the dog after Jake from State Farm. And I was like, well, why do you think that? And then she said, oh, well, because on the name tag when they got it, it said Jake from State Farm. And so I went, oh, well, this guy's an abusive man. He also is naming his dog a Jake from State Farm, which is already an annoying thing that happens to me where I meet someone for the first time and they go, yeah, I know you. You're Jake from State Farm. So I'm like, oh, this guy is a humorless piece of shit. And he's also a domesticated piece of shit, beating up dogs. Fuck this guy. So in my head, so I say to her, I go, he named his dog Jake from State Farm. We should fucking kill this guy. I hope this guy's dead. And then she doesn't think that's funny. She just goes, oh my God, like, oh, I'm not going to wish death upon him. I was like, didn't you say he's like wildly abusive? And she goes, yeah. I go, and also he named the dog Jake from State Farm. Like people say that to me. It's annoying as fuck. I can't imagine naming a dog that. You guys, do you know this guy's name? I want to find this guy. She goes, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I know his name. Like, I mean, you can go do that, find him and kill him if you want to. Like, I won't participate. So already I'm like, is this working? Is it not working? I'm very confused. Like, I'm clearly making a joke. It's a little bit of a wild joke saying you want to murder a guy, but it's less wild when you're talking about the guy being a man who abused the dog that your parents now have and love. I think it's pretty fine. I mean, I've met people who are like, yo, people who abuse dogs should die, and I'm like, that's a bit much. But I'm usually the minority in that. I'm usually the fucking odd man out. I'm usually a man who, like, a bunch of people around me is like, nah, fuck people who hurt dogs. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but should we kill them? And I think I'm taking on what people really, like, the general population believes. But according to this woman, I'm a piece of shit for wanting an abusive guy to die for naming his dog Jake from State Farm. I don't fucking know, dude. So anyway, the talent thing. So that came second. So then she answered, oh, what's my talent? She goes, advocacy. That's what I'm talented in. She goes, I study it as well. I don't know if she said exactly like that, but she started talking about advocacy. And she's like, I go, oh, that's what you're studying? She goes, yeah. And she goes, that's what I did before, but now with my degree, I'll be able to get paid more in it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I go, oh, that's cool. What would you want to do with your degree now? Like after you're finished? And she goes, oh, probably just same thing, but like a different thing, but different for what I do now. I go, what would you want to advocate for? She goes, probably like medical issues. And I go, oh, is there a disease you'd want to cure? And she goes, yeah, probably like Parkinson's. And she's saying it like it's a bit. So I'm like, oh, okay. She didn't like the dog, the killing of an abusive, the killing of a man who's abusive towards dogs joke. Okay. But she's joking about Parkinson's disease. So I'm like, okay, maybe this person is chill and this is fine. So I go, Parkinson's. I go, what about cancer? Cancer's pretty big. She goes, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of fine with cancer. I go, what about Alzheimer's? She's like, yeah, maybe like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. I don't know. Cancer, though, it's like, I don't know about that. So I'm like, oh, okay, she is able to joke, and this is fun and funny. And then she goes, no, but in all seriousness, and I go, well, no, seriously, like, what's one disease you would want to cure? And she goes, oh, wow, I love this question. Okay? So she loves that I said a female comedian, and she loves that I asked her what illness does she actually want to cure. This woman loves things. This woman loves interesting things. Or this woman loves a wide spectrum of things, which I appreciate. I love the fact that she loves both of those things. I love the fact that she loved that question. It's a fun question to ask, and some people wouldn't like it. And I was like, oh, she likes this question. Maybe it's fine. So then I say, she goes, probably like, actually, in all honesty, probably cancer. And because like I've had family members die of cancer. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I've had family members die of cancer too, but I don't know if I would cure it the first thing. I go, some of those people, maybe they should have died. Which made myself laugh. Dude, it's fun. That's funny, dude. And she was like, oh yeah? Again, unsure if she thinks it's funny or if she's just like, I don't know if she's not laughing. I don't know if the oh yeah is like I'm acknowledging that's funny, but like I'm not gonna laugh too much. Because I've had women I'm on dates with like try and laugh less because they're like fucking with me, which is annoying, but fine. But also I was like, maybe she just didn't like that. I don't know. But then also I'm on this date that I kind of don't want to be on, so I'm gonna make jokes that are funny, that I find funny, and if she doesn't like them, like, it's whatever, man. That's not a joke at her expense. It's a joke at I said my family. I joked about my family members dying. Anyway, she goes, probably cancer, and then, like, cardiovascular disease. And then the third, I go, you gotta do 3. And she goes, the third, I can't think of a third one. I was like, come on, you gotta do, like, 3 or 5. I mean, I feel like that's what you do, you know? I go, also, that's my OCD kicking in. And she goes, oh, do you really have OCD? I go, I mean, somewhat, because I do little OCD fucking things. I gotta touch certain shit. I gotta like count to certain shit sometimes. It's a thing that I do. And sometimes I like put it out of my brain. I just go, I don't need to fucking do that. I am able to. But sometimes I just do it. And my brothers have weird things like that. My dad does. So it's not diagnosed, but it's a thing. So I say, oh, kind of. I go, that's how the doctor diagnosed me, actually. I said, do I have OCD? And he was like, kind of. She didn't laugh at that. I go, that's also how my uncle who died of cancer got diagnosed with cancer. She goes, what do you mean? I go, the doctor was like, he was like, oh, do I have cancer? The doctor was like, kind of. I don't know. You might die. She didn't really laugh at that. And I said, yeah, I'm just, you ever just like make jokes for yourself? She goes, yeah, is that what you're doing? I was like, yeah, sometimes I just like to make jokes to see if people like it. I just keep making jokes, and the more confused people become, the more funny I think it is. And she goes, oh, is that working out for you? She's like, is that what you do in your comedy? Is that what you do on stage? I go, sometimes. I go, you never make a joke just for you? And she goes, oh, I make jokes just for myself all the time. No, before she says that, she goes, I go, yeah, you never do. I go, she goes, yeah, do you do that on stage a lot? I go, yeah, sometimes I just try and confuse people. She goes, yeah. She goes, interesting, because like you're a comedian, but like you haven't really made me laugh a lot. And I was like, okay. I was like, you never make jokes just for yourself? And she goes, oh, well, I think I'm the funniest person of all time. Like, I think I'm the funniest person I know. And then I laughed. I go, that's interesting, because you haven't really made me laugh much. And then she kind of got mad and was like, oh, were you just like you've just been pretending to laugh this whole time? And in my head, I was like, no, I'm just fucking making fun of I'm just fucking doing what you did to me. And I just go, I just move on from it. I go, no, I'm fucking around. And then I say, you ever look in the mirror and just tell jokes to yourself and like cackle to yourself in the mirror? And she goes, no, I don't do that. And then I start laughing. I go, I'm picturing you on the street just like saying jokes in your head and then laughing hysterically. And people are like, what the fuck is she doing? Which again, I'm joking. I'm teasing her. I think I'm teasing her playfully and flirtatiously. And then she goes, no, I kind of just like acknowledge it. And then like, I acknowledge what I thought was funny. And then I just like smile and keep walking. I was like, oh, all right. I go, anyway, can you think of a third disease? Because all of my flirtation, all of what would work with another person is not working with this person. But I'm fine. I'm having a fun time. I'm laughing. Anyway, so I go, all right, well, what's the third one? She goes, I can't think of a third one. What are yours? I go, also, you can't. I said to her, I go, you can't think of a third one. You just said two jokingly. I go, you wouldn't want to cure Alzheimer's or Parkinson's? That was like purely a joke. And she was like, I mean, no. No, my two would be cancer and cardiovascular disease. And I'm like, you can't slot in one of the, like, that would be a noble thing to cure. Anyway, I didn't say that. I just went, all right, well, mine would actually, to be honest, be Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Oh, no. Fuck, I keep forgetting shit. No, before we moved on, I was like, you don't want to do Alzheimer's or Parkinson's? And she's like, no, not really. I go, that's right. I forgot that you hate Alzheimer's. You actually hate it. I forgot that the moment you sat down, you said, yo, Alzheimer's is actually fucking bullshit, bro. You know that movie with Anthony Hopkins, The Father? That movie's a comedy, dude. I laughed out loud at that. You should see that. That's a great comedy. She doesn't know the reference to the movie, but also it doesn't matter. She doesn't need to know the reference to the movie. Like, what I said was so ridiculous. I was like, you sat down and said this thing you clearly didn't say. Like, to me, that was a funny thing to say. Let's pretend she thinks the movie The Father is a comedy because in her 3 illnesses to cure, she refuses to say Alzheimer's, even though there's an open spot for another illness. She's like, no, fuck people with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. I'm just saying these two. So I'm trying to make a joke out of what she is saying but not saying. And instead of laughing, she just kind of looks at me like, I don't understand what's happening. That's the end of the first part. I'll see you guys in the second part where I keep talking about this awful date. What's up? I'm back. Okay, so I said the Alzheimer's thing was a joke. She just kind of looked at me and was like, okay, so what are yours? What do you say yours? I go, well, to be honest with you, it's Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and probably heart disease. And she goes, cardiovascular disease. So doesn't process any of the jokes I'm saying. Also then corrects the disease I say. Which are they the same disease? I don't know, but like maybe she thought I was correcting. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she thinks I was correcting her saying cardiovascular disease. I don't see how she could have thought that. She could have been like, she could have explained it to me, but she just corrected heart disease to cardiovascular disease. Okay? So, which, I don't know, I think is a little bit mean to do. But I was like, oh, okay. And then after that, she said, is this like, I can't tell if this is going well. And I was like, I mean, I'm having a nice time. Like, are you not? Do you think it's going bad? And she goes, I don't know, I can't tell. I go, I'm having a nice time. And she goes, okay. No, yeah, I think it's going good. I'm not sure. And I was like, well, who determines that? She goes, well, we both determine it. And I was like, I'm having a nice time. I'm having a good time. Which also was annoying to me because I was like, what are you saying? Are you saying you're not sure if it's going well with me? Because you know if it's going well with you. I know if it's going well with me. I think it's going fine. I'm amused and laughing and having a nice enough time. I mean, this person is doing stuff that fucking sucks, but I feel like I'm like maybe lightly teasing her in a flirty way, but I'm never like being rude. I mean, this woman's just staring at me while I say certain jokes, like, and none of the jokes are at her expense. They're all, you know what I'm saying? And none of them are offensive jokes. Anyway, So then we move on from that, and then we start talking about where I went to college and where I grew up. Because she said she was from wherever. I don't need to say where she's from. But I was talking about where I'm from. And then I started talking about how like I went to school right near where my parents are from. And she goes, "Oh, first of all, I say I went to Sarah Lawrence College." And I could already see in her fucking eyes that she's gonna ask, "Is that an all-girls school?" Because that's what everyone says, and it's and a close friend of mine said that to me, and I was like, "Wow, I love this lady." I think this lady's so dope. I adore her so much. Why do you have to say that stupid fucking thing? It's awful when somebody you like really fucking enjoy and adore. Like, I was like, your brain's like, I love you, but shit, like, why do you got to say the most basic thing of all fucking time? You're fucking dope on so many levels to me, and this is making me question everything about you. Because it's such a stupid thing to say. I've said this on the podcast before. If I say I went to Sarah Lawrence College, and the first thing you say is, "Isn't that an all-girls school?" I have to be like, "Are you dumb? Are you stupid as fuck?" I have to look at myself and go, I don't think it is. I don't identify as a woman. I identify as a man. And I went there, so I'm pretty sure it's not an all-girls fucking school, dude. Anyway, I saw it in her eyes that she was going to ask that. And so instead of her asking it, I just said, "It's not an all-girls school." And she goes, "Oh yeah, isn't it? I thought it was." So I guess at this point, I don't like this person. And maybe, even though the things I'm saying, I'm not saying I don't like her, maybe she could sense the energy that I kind of don't like her. But I didn't dislike her. Like, I've been on dates with people where they say that and then we end up making out. Like, it's not the end all be all. But I did anticipate. So I kind of knew she sucked because I did already anticipate her asking if it was an all-girls school, to the point where I just said it's not an all-girls school before she asked. But again, that seemed fine. She goes, "Oh, I thought it was an all-girl." Oh, dude, I didn't even think about how fucking stupid this is. I said it's not an all-girls school. She goes, "Oh yeah, I thought it was," and I was like, "No, it's not. Like, I went there." And she goes, "Honestly, I think I know a guy named Jake who went there too." So she's like, "I thought it was an all-girls school, even though I know another man who went there. What the fuck are you talking about?" So anyway, she goes, "Yeah, I think he got kicked out though." I go, "When did he graduate?" She was like, "He would have graduated in 2016. I go, "Well, I graduated 2015, so there must have been overlap." She goes, "Yeah, he stole a bunch of computers and then got kicked out." I was like, "Damn, how many computers did he steal?" She goes, "Oh, I don't really know." I was like, "Damn, you know about this heist, but you don't know the details?" Again, flirting, being silly. And she goes, "No, I don't know anything about it. I'll have to ask him." I was like, "Yo, do you have his number?" She goes, "I mean, probably. I used to know him." I was like, "Yo, text him right now and say, how many computers did you steal?" She goes, "No, that'd be so inappropriate and strange." I go, "Yeah, but it'd be funny." And she was like, "Yeah, for you." I was like, "Well, give me his number. I'll text him." Again, I understand that it's a bit that like might not be great, but it's not mean. Like, I don't think I'm being mean. I think I'm being fun. But maybe I'm not. Maybe to her, this is the worst thing of all time. But then I think she thought it was funny, because then I was like, I go, "What do you mean? Like, why? I'll text him. He'll have no idea." She goes, "No, he'll know you got the number from me." And I was like, "How would he know that?" And she goes, "Because he'll ask, and then you'll say, 'Oh, I got this from a girl I'm on a date with right now.'" I go, "Why would I say that?" And she goes, "I don't know. Like, I don't trust you. You'd sell me out. I don't trust you." And I was like, "No, I wouldn't sell you out. I would never do such a thing." And she goes, "I don't believe you. I don't trust you." Again, I don't know if that's flirty or if it's she literally doesn't trust. Like, I don't know what it, like, and also she shouldn't trust me. She doesn't know me. It's safe to not trust me. But also, I've been on a date where the same thing happens. I end up texting the guy, and it's funny. So maybe our flirtatious languages aren't fucking connecting. They're not vibing together. I don't know. Okay? Anyway, we move on from that subject and start talking about my brother getting married. I talk about my brothers, my siblings. I say they both got married this year. They both got married to women who are dope as fuck. And she goes, "What'd you say?" I went, "Women who are dope as hell." And she was like, "Oh." I go, "I said dope as fuck, but then I wasn't sure. Maybe I shouldn't have said fuck, so I switched it to hell because you didn't hear me." Because, yeah, I didn't hear you. I go, "Yeah, I mumble sometimes." And then I said, "Yeah, they're dope as fuck." She goes, "Oh, that's such a lovely thing to say about your sister-in-laws." I go, "Oh yeah, no, yeah, I think so too." I go, "I think they make my family better, or they make my brothers better, and that's all you could hope for in a sister-in-law, right?" She goes, "Yeah." And then again, she brought up like how she wasn't sure how the date was going, and I was like, "Oh, maybe it's hard to figure out because like I'm kind of a weird person." And she goes, "Yeah, for sure." She goes, "Oh, are you? Yeah, you're kind of weird." And I was like, "I mean, you're kind of weird too." And then she seemed to be mad at that, which is like, I'm saying I'm kind of a weird person to make you feel more comfortable about keep bringing up that you're unsure of how it's going. And I'm trying to make you feel like it's going good and make you feel better. And then I say you're kind of weird too, which to me is a compliment. She was like, "What?" But also, you are weird. You gave me your number immediately. That's fucking weird. I liked it. I was attracted to it, but that's weird as shit, bro. That's fucking unsafe. Anyway, so then I ask about, I go, "Do you have any siblings?" And she goes, "Yeah, I have a brother." I go, "Is he married?" And she goes, "No." I go, "What the fuck's his deal, bro? Why isn't he married? You should be fucking married, bro. Both my brothers are shacked up, dude. He's older than you." She goes, "Yeah." I go, "What the heck's he doing? Let's call him up." She's like, "Oh, I'll have to ask him the next time I see him." I go, "Yeah, dude, we gotta fucking get to the bottom of this." It's another bit. That I can't tell if it goes over or not. I go, "What's his name?" She goes, I go, "Oh, your parents are like kind of wild with the names." And she goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Well, you both got that AH. Maybe I shouldn't be saying these names." I'll see when I post it. Maybe I'll bleep out these names. I don't want to fucking be a dick. But she was a dick. I don't know. Anyway, I was like, she goes, "Oh, like, are those weird names?" She goes, "What do you know of the name?" I was like, "I just know that it's like Gnar, bro. Every time I meet a guy named I'm like, yo, that's sick as hell." He's always like, "Yo, fucking shred the Gnar, dude. That's sick as fuck, dude. They smoke weed, dude." She didn't really find that funny. And then I was like, "And also, I've never heard someone with your name. I don't know if I've ever met someone with your name." And she goes, "Well, do you know anything about those names?" And in my head, I was like, "They're probably biblical." But I was like, "I don't know, you tell me." I was like, "Oh, well, what are they?" And she goes, "Oh, they're biblical." I go, "Oh, okay. Did you grow up very religious?" And she goes, "Well, I like to say that I grew up observing religion. I observed religion as I was growing up." And I was like, I kind of laughed and was like, "What does that mean?" Not like in an inappropriate way. She said, I observed religion." And I went, "Oh." I go, "What does that mean?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm Jewish." And I was like, "Is that a way of..." I go, I've never heard someone say that before. Is that like a way of saying you're Jewish?" And she's like, "No, you never heard someone say they have observed religion?" And I was like, "No." And she goes, "Oh, I just think that's like a really beautiful way of saying that like you grew up religious, is that you observed religion." I was like, "Oh, I've never heard that before." Which also, it's like, she said you've never heard that. So is that just like a thing she heard someone else say that was like, she thought was really artsy and beautiful and cool? So now she's saying it to me? Because I was giving her the invention of it. I was like, "Damn, dude, I guess you made that up." I didn't say it like that to her. I was just like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know what that is." She said something kind of confusing, and I was appropriately confused, I feel like. Anyway, so now we're leading up to the big moment. So she says that, And she goes, did you grow up really religious? I was like, oh yeah, I grew up pretty fucking religious. Because my mom is a born again Christian. She's not Catholic, thank God, but she's a born again Christian Lutheran style. So she goes, oh, like church every Sunday? I go, yeah, church every Sunday. I go, it wasn't that bad though. At least we weren't Catholic. I go, my mom, thank God, was like, no, you can't be Catholic. Now we're getting to the fucking end, dude. Now we're getting to the part in Fight Club where he's at the roof of the building looking at the buildings that are gonna explode, bro. We're getting to the part in Fight Club where he shoots himself. Spoiler alert. Okay, this is the part in the fucking date where I shoot myself. All right, I'm gonna become Tyler Durden right now. I'm gonna kill Tyler Durden right now. This is the murdered Tyler Durden part of the story. I love how I'm referencing fucking Fight Club for this bad date. So fucking stupid. Anyway, so I go, yeah, every weekend, or every Sunday, but thank God didn't grow up Catholic because Catholicism is strange. You know, it's Catholicism's like super strict. I'm glad I didn't have to do it. My mom always thought Catholicism was weird because she was like, why do my kids have to answer to a priest? Why do my children have to tell a priest their sins? That's strange. I go, I agree, that is weird. Like Lutheran is like the soft Christianity. It's the nicer Christianity. So my mom's a smart cookie for that one. And this is where she went silent. So this whole date, there's been back and forth. There's been, I don't know if she thinks this is funny. I don't know if she isn't. But I've never made her silent. And for this, the thing about Catholicism, she goes dead fucking silent. Fuck, someone's calling me. Fuck. I gotta call that person back. That was a person who I haven't spoken to in a while. Just hit ignore. Not great, dude. I'm filming the pod, bro. What am I gonna do? I didn't look. I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna call you back right after the pod's over. Anyway, what's called? The Catholic thing. She's dead silent. She's fucking silent as shit, bro. And to the point where I'm like, what happened? Where I feel uncomfortable. And then she goes, hey, so do you have any hobbies you'd like to do? Like real irritated. And then I know she's irritated. I go, is there something, did I say something wrong? And she goes, well, that was like really mean. And I was like, how is that mean? What was mean? Did I say something mean about my mom? I thought she was saying that like me calling my mom a smart cookie was condescending. And I was like, well, no, I genuinely think she's smart. And then I realized like, oh, and then she goes, no, like what you said about Catholicism, like you're attacking like a religion. And in my head, I was like, well, I'm not even attacking a religion. I'm attacking a sect of a religion. Like I was like, does she not understand what Christianity is? I think Catholicism sucks. I do. I don't think Christianity as a whole is bad. I don't think people who believe in Catholicism are bad, but I think as a structure, it's kind of fucked up. And I don't think I'm in the minority on that. I don't think I'm the odd man out on thinking that Catholicism isn't the best. And so she goes, well, I have friends who are Catholic and I don't feel like they're bad people. I said this earlier. I go, oh, I don't think I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm just saying Catholicism is strange. Like, I mean, ask them. They probably think they'll tell you it's a little weird. And she goes, well, like, if I'm being really honest, like, I don't think organized religion is good at all. I think organized religion in general is bad for people. And then I said, as a joke, to lighten the mood, I said, whoa, you're going after all religion? I was just talking about Catholicism. You're saying all religion is bad? As a joke, as what I think is a clear joke. I'm saying it in a different voice. I think... And then that's when she goes, oh, I'm not, you know what? I think I'm going to leave. And I laugh because I've done that on dates where someone says something and I pretend to be appalled by it. And I go, check please. Or I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get out of here. And I get up as a joke and then the person laughs. So she gets up as what I think is a joke because like we're disagreeing a little bit. Even though I think it's still playful. She gets up. I think it's her doing a fun bit. And then I realize it's not a fun bit because she grabs her coat. And then I go, wait, for real? You're going to leave? And then she sits back down and goes, yeah, I mean, yeah, you've been like kind of mean. And I was like, all right, we'll see ya. Because at that point I was like, this is crazy. At this point I'm like, you've been pretty fucking mean, if I'm being honest. And also I'm kind of just flabbergasted that the most offensive thing I said was that Catholicism isn't great. Okay? Because, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but if a religion actively, if the main members of a religion, of a religious organization, for years and years and years, actively fuck hundreds of children, thousands of children, and then instead of stopping it, continue to move the priests around so they can keep fucking children, for me to describe an organization like that as not the best, I feel like I'm being pretty nice. I don't think mean is the word to describe me calling Catholicism not that great. I think I'm being like the nicest motherfucker of all time. You know what's pretty mean? Fucking hundreds of children. That's pretty mean. I would say that's pretty evil. I would say that's pretty fucking irredeemable. I would say that's pretty much a reason to shut down an organization entirely. I think if you fuck 2 kids, you should shut down an organization. They have thousands on the books, so I think me saying it's weird is not that big of a deal. And also, you're not Catholic. I forgot to say that. She goes, you're criticizing Catholicism. You're not even Catholic. I go, my dad is Catholic. My whole Italian family is Catholic. I'm pretty fucking intimate with what Catholicism does to motherfuckers, and it's not a good thing. Okay? And also, if you disagree with that, that's fine. But tell me you disagree. How am I being mean? And again, it's a thing that's got nothing to do with her. The whole night, every joke I made, anything I said was not about her at all, but she would get mad. I guess. I don't know, because at this point, I'm like, I was mean. I go, what? Because the Catholicism thing? She goes, I feel like you've kind of been mean the whole night. And then in my head, I was like, oh, have you just been taking every joke I'm saying as me being sincere and rude? Because I feel like I've been clearly joking to the point where I even like pointed out I was joking. Anyway, so then she fully stands up and she's like, yeah, I think I'm going to leave. And I was like, I said, well, I'm sorry. And then as I said, well, I'm sorry, I was like, you know what, Jake? I didn't say that out loud. Damn, I fucking hate saying the third person. I did though. I thought to myself, you know what, man? I'll say man, not Jake. Ooh, I hate that. I fucking said my name in the third person. I said, you know what, man? You don't want to be on this date. You didn't want to be on this date. This is, if God exists, this is him being like, you don't need to be on this date. This is him or her or whoever. This is them going, hey, man, you don't want to fucking do this. So I cut off my sorry. I go, oh, I'm sorry. And I go, I'm sorry. I didn't do it like that. I just went, oh, I'm sorry if I made you feel bad. And then she got up and then she was like, well, I guess I'll see you around. And I go, well, apparently not. And she goes, well, I mean, I like comedy shows. Maybe I'll like see you at a comedy show. And I was like, okay. And then she left. And then I was like, what the fuck was that shit? Damn, I just spent like 40 minutes doing that. I think I spent 50 minutes telling that story. I spent the whole podcast telling that fucking story. Anyway, what do you guys think? Am I mean? Am I a mean guy? Also, during the date, I was like, she was like, oh, what is your stand-up like? And I was like, oh, it's kind of personal. I talk about my life. She goes, your dates? And I was like, well, no, I don't. If I talk about someone I'm dating, I never say anything mean. I try and make sure it's nice. She goes, oh, that's a good policy. But then now I'm thinking back, I'm like, well, I'm not talking about fucking people who I have a bad date with. If I have a bad date with you, I'll fucking talk about it on here. Like, what are you talking? I'm talking about people who, like, I'm pursuing love with. Somebody who's dope enough where I saw them for months. I'm not going to talk bad about them because fucking I like that. I liked them enough to be with them. I might, like, talk about our relationship and not talk about them specifically, but, like, what? Anyway, was I mean? What do you guys think? I don't think I was, bro. I don't think I was mean. I think I was pretty fine, dude. I think I was pretty... All things considered, I think I was trying to make the best of a bad situation. You know what it was? And I talked about one other date like this. But dude, the one other day I talked about this that I at least I look back at that day, I'm like, at least it wasn't that bad. At least the fucking person was laughing when we were talking. At least she understood jokes. But this person, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm fucked. Maybe people just don't get my sense of humor, bro. Maybe I don't fucking know, man. I'm reeling, bro. I'm flabbergasted. I don't understand it. I think that I was fine, but who knows, dude? And that's the thing too about, also, let's be real here. The meanest thing that happened on the date was her saying I'm mean and leaving the date. That's a rude motherfucking thing to do. Not even talk about why I was mean, just go, you're being mean. And leaving and having me sit there being like, was I mean? Leaving me sitting there being like, I gotta fucking do the podcast and talk this shit through. Leaving me in a predicament where I'm like, I gotta go talk for an hour to figure this fucking shit out. Anyway, yeah, was I mean? Who knows? Anyway, on the way to that date, I got 3 minutes left. I'm going to talk about some silly shit. I'm going to spend 3 minutes on silly shit. On the way to that date, I saw an address that was 49.5 First Avenue. Fuck that, dude. I almost thought it was charming, but then I was like, you know what? 49.5, you're trying to be charming. I don't like it. It's 49, okay? What is the half, dude? That means there's half buildings on that block. Shut the fuck up, dude. It's 49 First Avenue. Don't try and be cute. This ain't fucking platform 9 3/4, bro. You're not the Harry Potter building. That's why that building is named that. So fucking NYU kids go, oh, I love Harry Potter. This is 49.5. I'm going to get my apartment there. That's the whole reason they called it that. Because they wanted Harry Potter heads who go to NYU to live in that building. And guess what? It's a fucking smart move, dude. Because a lot of people are going to think it's charming even though it isn't. And I bet you every motherfucker who lives in there is like, you know what? I shouldn't have bought this place, but I did buy it because I thought it was cute to say 49.5. I wanted to tell dates, hey, come to 49.5. I wanted delivery men to be like, I wanted fucking someone to give me seamless, and I go, hey, pretty cute, huh? That's what I wanted to happen. Oh, shit. But it's not cute. I don't like it. And the last thing I want to say is, bro, have you ever gotten so depressed that you feel silly? I think that's kind of what happened on this date, to be honest. I think I was in such a weird mood and such a, like, didn't want to go that I started to feel silly. Because I was like, I don't really want to be here. So now it's just, like, fun and dumb. And honestly, the date ended so poorly that I was like, that was really fun. But also I was like, you know what? I think I'm done with the dating app dates, bro. I think I'm done with that shit. I already was like, do I want to go on this? Maybe I should. Maybe give it the benefit of the doubt. And then I was proven right, dude. I was proven right. I shouldn't go on that motherfucking shit. I shouldn't go on that motherfucking shit. It's rude. Yeah. I'm a stick to dating motherfuckers who I meet in person, so I know for a fact that they understand a joke before we sit down across from one another to have a 3-hour conversation. And guess what else I'm going to do? I'm never going to go on a date with somebody who gives me their number immediately, and I'm never giving someone my number the second message. Now I understand why no motherfucker goes on those dates, because this shit happens. Because you get on the date and you realize, oh, we don't have a sense of each other's sense of humor at all. There has been no back and forth of you being able to understand how I joke. So now that we're on the date, you're just confused as fuck. And you know what? At the end of the day, I don't blame her, man. That's fair enough. If she thought I was mean, she thought I was mean. I'm sorry that I was mean to her. I don't think I was. But I'm sorry that a person felt that way. But yeah, I don't know. You decide. Am I mean? Who knows? All I know is I'm glad to have done the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I can't believe I talked about that for a full fucking hour. Anyway, next week I'll talk about something else. And I'll be here next week. I promise you. Anyway, happy holidays. Enjoy Christmas. Enjoy Hanukkah. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.